One Piece power scaling in the second half gets absolutely absurd. This is part 2, so if you haven't watched part 1, definitely check that out after this, because today we're covering everything from Amazon Lily all the way to Egghead, and by the end, we're ranking people who basically sit above the entire world. Let's get into it. Starting with Amazon Lily. Number 3 is Boa Sandersonia, and she's no joke. She's a trained Kuja warrior with haki, which already puts her above most early New World fodder. Number 2 is Luffy. He was insanely strong physically, but this version of Luffy still had basically zero real control over the haki systems around him. And number 1 is obviously Boa Hancock, master of all 3 haki types, broken petrification fruit, and way more polished than everybody else in the arc. She clears. Then we drop straight into prison hell. Impel Down. Number 3 is Luffy, because he fought through level after level like a complete maniac. Number 2 is Blackbeard. He brought darkness, a dangerous crew, and one of the nastiest devil fruits in the series. But number 1 is Magellan. This man embarrassed everybody. He wiped out Blackbeard's whole crew in one go and nearly ended Luffy too, one of the most underrated monsters in One Piece. And then we hit total war with Marineford. Number 3 is Akainu, absolute demon, took insane punishment and still kept marching forward like the final boss of the Marines. Number 2 is Whitebeard. Even old, sick, stabbed, and half dead, he was still cracking the island and tilting the sea itself. But number 1 for this arc is Shanks. The second he arrived, the war stopped. That portrayal is just ridiculous. Now, if Whitebeard had shown up healthy, like real prime Whitebeard, he would absolutely be number 1. No debate. After that chaos, Fishman Island is basically a flex arc. Number 3 is Shirahoshi. And yeah, she's physically weak, but Poseidon potential is way too insane to ignore. Number 2 is Hody Jones. Steroid boosted, rage fueled, and strong enough to be a serious threat to the whole island. And number 1 is Luffy. This arc existed to show just how far post-time skip Luffy had jumped. He handled Hody way more cleanly than people remember. Oh, and real quick, if you're enjoying this so far, subscribe to FortuNeko and hit the like. It really helps. Anyway, next up is Punk Hazard. Number 3 is Virgo. His armament haki was nasty, and he straight up bullied Smoker. Number 2 is Law. The moment he sliced Virgo and the entire mountain behind him, everybody watching just went, oh, okay then. But number 1 is Luffy. Law had the craziest moment, sure, but Luffy was still the main power anchor of that alliance. Then comes Dressrosa, where the ceiling jumps hard. Number 3 is Doflamingo. Awakened fruit, absurd endurance, controlled an entire country, and turned Dressrosa into his own twisted playground. Number 2 is Luffy. Gear 4 finally gave him the raw output needed to break through Daffy's defenses. But number 1 is Fujitora. Admiral level just hits different. This man was summoning meteors for fun, and still wasn't even trying that hard. Now Zoe is weird because the strongest character barely feels like a character, but come on. Number 3 is Jack. Absolute tank. This dude invaded Zoe, kept going forever, and just would not die. Number 2 is Luffy, because among the normal fighters, he still sits at the top. And number 1 is Zunesha. One trunk swing erased Jack's fleet like it was a side quest. Completely unfair. And then we get to one of the best arcs in the series, Whole Cake Island. Number 3 is Katakuri. Future sight, insane composure, and for most of that fight, he looked literally unbeatable. Number 2 is Luffy, because forcing himself to grow mid-fight and barely overcoming Katakuri is still one of his best achievements. But number 1 is Big Mom. Nobody there was realistically beating her. The entire arc was basically run away from the angry emperor before she erases the map. Then comes the quiet arc that secretly changes everything. Reverie. Number 3 is Garp. Old, yes. Washed? Absolutely not. Number 2 is Dragon. We still haven't seen his full power, but narrative-wise, Oda clearly places him above Old Garp in active threat level. And number 1 is Imu, hidden ruler of the world. Above the Gorosei, above the Celestial Dragons, above everybody. That is pure endgame energy. Speaking of this ranking series, if you missed the first half, the info card's popping up now. Check it after this. Back to the list. Now we go backwards a bit with Wano Country Flashback. Number 3 is Silver's Rayleigh, which already sounds broken. Number 2 is Whitebeard, prime version, strongest man in the world, monster in every sense. And number 1 is Gol D Roger. He and Whitebeard were basically equals, but Pirate King portrayal gives Roger the edge. Then we hit the monster raid itself, Wano Country main arc. Number 3 is Luffy. Yes, Gear 5 is insane. Yes, he won, but he needed resets, help, and one of the craziest comeback chains in the series. Number 2 is Kaido. This man fought basically everybody while carrying an island in the sky. Actual raid boss behavior. And number 1 is Shanks. Oda's portrayal of him is just absurd. Paralyzing an admiral from miles away is not normal Yonko behavior. And finally, Egghead. Number 3 is St. J. Garcia Saturn. Creepy, immortal looking, and way too much for the Straw Hats to handle directly. Number 2 is Dragon. Narrative scaling here, but at this stage, he has to be above a single Gorosei member in individual importance and likely power. And number 1 is Emu. Egghead made it painfully obvious that the true top of One Piece isn't just Yonko level anymore, it's throne room level. So yeah, from Amazon Lily to Egghead, the power jump is absolutely insane. Which arc had the craziest top 3? And which ranking are you ready to fight me over in the comments? Subscribe to FortuNeko and hit the bell icon. And watch this video next. It's on your screen right now, and honestly, it's the perfect follow-up. Catch you in the next one.